Hey everyone, Rascal here.
And Mama, welcome to our channel, Pause Animation.
And today we're covering Rio 2.
Yes.
It exists.
The sequel, 2014 3D computer animated musical comedy.
That's a lot of labels on it.
Yeah. Released by the incomparable Blue Sky Studios, no longer in existence, and directed by Carlos Saldana. So we got to revisit the Blue Macaws and the film stars return, Jesse Eisenberg and Anne Hathaway, and gave us another adventure.
Yes. And before we start, be sure to like, subscribe, and notification buttons on future podcasts and we'll pause videos.
Absolutely, and thank you for joining us again. We really appreciate it.
Yes.
This movie we were thinking was going to be something different than it turned out to be. The first movie is awesome, amazing. We even have the video game that you'll be seeing sometime this summer. Us play it. It was great. It was something different and beautiful and exciting and fun. And it had all these different elements wrapped up into one movie, and it worked. This movie worked, but not as well.
Yes. And while it is fun at times, it's still safe for all ages to watch. Still great animation. Still great music.
Absolutely.
Great that they had all the original people back from the first movie with some actually not bad new additions to the voice cast.
Jamie Foxx, will.i.am, George Lopez, Tracy Morgan, Jermaine Clement, Leslie Mann was in it before.
Right.
But yeah, they had a lot of new people who helped to flesh it out. Anne Hathaway, I stand corrected, she was the new bird he ended up with, and Leslie Mann was the owner.
Right.
So she returned, and Anne Hathaway was the new addition.
Right. So for this movie, looks like a few years after the first one, and Blue and Jewel now have a family, and they're living in Rio together with the owners who've also gotten married. So it's like really one big family with the humans and the birds, which was actually pretty cool. And you're thinking, okay, what are they going to do this time? Well, first I'll split them all up. The owners go to the rainforest and find out that there are other blue macaws, so they are no longer the last ones in existence, which ironically did happen in real life just a couple years ago.
Yes, they say life imitates art, so it's like the law of attraction said, hey, you want some blue macaws? You put these movies out, let me give you some.
Right. So in reality, there are now the blue macaws no longer either in danger or extinct. It's back. So this ended up being probably the best thing about this movie, that it brought back the blue macaws. And with here, Jewel wanted to go to the jungle to meet them, and she might find some of her family members there that she thought were gone because of certain events. Mm-hmm. And they all traveled to the Amazon with their kids, and of course with Nico and Pedro and their other friends. And then when the movie gets to this place, it kind of goes downhill from there for some people. And the reason why is because they immediately go into an environmental thing with having a very, very evil poacher bad guy who wants to tear down the forest for money.
Which has become a constant overused trope now since this movie was made.
Right. And then you have where you actually meet the macaws themselves, and the second thing is their country birds, wild birds, and the city birds are weaklings, and they're soft, and they're too much comfort life. And it's like, we see people say this about city people all the time, where city people are too soft, too comfortable. They don't know what real work is like because they have conveniences. And it's like, we gotta apply this to the birds now. But that's what was kind of funny. Blue was raised with humans, right. So he knew all the human stuff. That kind of wasn't a bad thing. It was sort of funny.
Right.
And then the third thing was that another overused trope where the family hates who their kid marries, and they introduce Jewel's father, voiced by Robert De Niro, which was a great addition, and he immediately hates Blue because she married him. He loved the kids but hated him. And it's like, and another one who she could have married was a more suave, more better looking bird. It's like, someone was having a crisis at their point in their lives, because this is too much like the humans. Why are you telling your kid you could have married someone way better? Why are we having him to prove himself he was worthy to get married? Why are we having environmentalists? Why? What happened to the fun of Rio?
Because it's on in the Amazon. That's what the poster says.
Oh gosh, why?
Well, besides Robert De Niro, we had a few more new members, including Bruno Mars,
Yeah.
Garcia, Rita Moreno, Rachel Crow, Kristen Chenoweth, Amanda Stenberg,
Man,
Hugh
who's not?
Scanyong, and Miguel Ferrer, who this is his last appearance. He passed away shortly after doing the performance in the movie.
Yeah. And another one who had passed was the director. He unfortunately died of the C word. And that's unfortunate.
Yes.
And this was why the
Don Reimer.
Yes, and this was why the movie felt so different from the second one. He was writing it or helping produce it. He passed. Someone else took over, and the movie went a whole different direction. So that is one huge part of why this isn't as great as the first one.
And I think Blue Sky learned from the experience because this was the only sequel film outside of the Ice Age franchise. After that, they stopped doing sequels. Not counting Kung Fu Panda, because this was 2014, 2017, and all the Kung Fu Pandas had already been done.
Right. So with this, people thought at the time Blue Sky was still around, okay, this is gonna be it for Rio. There was nothing else. There was no Rio 3. There was no TV show. Nothing. They stopped. Then after Blue Sky was gone, Disney announced another Rio's coming. Why? It's like, oh, it's a spin-off or a reboot or something. Like, what? I thought you were done. Now we're just gonna bring out all the Blue Sky stuff, and they're all gonna have a Disney label on it.
It's gonna be a Disney production. It's not
It's gonna be too much singing,
right.
and it's to be too much singing, too much of this. They're gonna go crank everything to 11 and just make it too much.
Unfortunately. But for this movie, Rio 2, they had a budget between 103 and 130 million, and it grossed over 498 million at the box office.
Right.
And part of that is because people were expecting the same quality and the same type of film they got before.
Right.
So a lot of this was based on familiarity with the first movie.
Right.
And again, unfortunately, you didn't really get what you got before. Back when Rotten Tomatoes could actually be trusted, it was given a 48% rating, 5.4 out of 10.
Yeah.
And the most critical thing that was said is, like most sequels, it takes from its predecessor the basic template and tries to make it bigger, which means it's even busier, more colorful, and ultimately more exhausting to viewers outside the youthful target demographic. And that's why they say it failed. And again, this is when Rotten Tomatoes was still trustworthy and had been bought off. And would just say what the people who pay them wanted.
Right.
And unfortunately, in this instance, it's true. Now, thinking it was going to be great as the first one, we went ahead and bought Rio 2.
Right. Automatically. We didn't have to go see it. Like, oh, we know it's good. And then this is what we got. And this was part of why we were disappointed. And it's not like it's terrible. It's just...
Which it isn't.
No, it's just average. Because it had a lot going for it. It's like the only thing that was wrong was the story. Great animation, great idea, all the same people, plus great new additions. The songs were still great.
John Powell was the music director.
Right.
And you had Jamie Foxx, you had Bruno Mars, and a lot of people singing great songs.
Right. And they didn't sing every 10 minutes. They just had more
songs. But they will
in
now in this reboot by Disney.
Right. So it wasn't any of that. It was just the one key thing that was wrong was the story. And they could have taken something that was basic and done it in a way where either they put a twist on it or they make it so great and fun you didn't mind it was the same thing again because it felt new. If they'd done either one of those things, this would have been just as great as the first Rio. Because Rio itself was a simple movie, but done in a really colorful and fun way, nothing else like it. And the fact they threw in too much reality with the environmental thing, which we know there are some people that are active in that, and that's wonderful, but you went to this movie for the escapism. The most you had was some bird catchers, which is normal now. There's so many of them out there. With from the first movie, it was fine. That was part of what was in Rio. But you're not on the Amazon. Now we gotta do the environmental message, the you're good enough for my daughter message, you could have married someone better message, which I don't think kids want to hear, that you could have been with someone else way better, even though you're happy with them. It's too all over the place, and it's things that really shouldn't be in this type of movie that's just supposed to be fun. And like the first one, we're just, having a good time. It's a summer film, and it's meant to be a breath of fresh air, and unfortunately it just failed on that part. It didn't need so much reality put into it. It wasn't depressing, it was just unnecessary.
And they did keep it as a summer fun movie, which is great. But I do agree with you 1,000,000,000%. And one thing that was really different is the music. The songs from the first movie, I can hear them playing in my head now. I know every lyric in the game. They even had some great music to play in the game. And again, you'll see us play that during this summer. Maybe the same week this is coming out. I'm not sure.
Right.
But the songs in the second movie were not memorable. The first one, it was like, oh my gosh, this is great. This is fun. And you could catch yourself singing them. But the second movie, it just wasn't the same experience, unfortunately.
Yeah, that is unfortunate because they have potential to be really great or even surpass the first one, and it just fell short of it. So who knows what we're going to get now with this new one that you really didn't even need.
Absolutely. So if you've seen Rio 2, let us know in the comments below. You may not agree with us, and that's okay. Did you love it? Did you hate it? Was it mad? We really want to know what you think. Do you own it like we do, or did you see it at the theater? And if you haven't seen it, it's probably available on Disney Plus to stream. And it's the summer, so it'd be a great time to watch it if you just want to see a colorful summer movie that is not outstanding, but something you can watch that would be different to see.
Right. And if you haven't already, subscribe for updates, weekly videos, your favorite anime series, anime shows, and all things animation.
Absolutely. And thank you for joining us again, taking time out of your summer fun to share some joy of movies with us. We appreciate you so much.
Yes. So, thank you so much for watching. I'm Rascal Entertainment.
And I'm Mom Entertainment.
Have a toontastic day.
Peace.